What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. Recently, there's been a very disturbing trend on Google, and it's something that you all need to be aware of. Basically, there's hackers out there, or what we like to call the pirates, manipulating the Google search results so that their malicious links show up at the top of the Google search results, tricking people into smashing those links and having very bad things happen to them. There's really two key ways this scam happens, and today I'm going to be covering one of those key ways on how it happens, and in the very near future I'll be covering the second method in a different video of this scam. So stay tuned, as that will be coming out very soon. In today's video, I'm going to show you what the scam looks like. I'm going to show you what will happen if you fall for the scam. And then finally, I'm going to show you what you can do to help protect yourselves, as that's really the most important part of this video. But before I do that, make sure that if you like this video, that you smash that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Because doing those actions helps promote this video in the Google search results so more people can see this channel's content and help protect themselves from the cybersecurity threats out there in the world, which is the main goal of this channel. Alright, so my original goal for this video was to actually show you in a real lab that I set up exactly how this scam works. But of course I spent hours setting up the lab to get it to work, and originally when I was doing some testing before this video, the scam worked for me. But of course when I tried to record this video, the scam no longer works for me. So Google must have fixed the issue for now, but this is still important because this scam is going to come back and it's not going away, and it's very important that you know it. So the best thing I could do for now, since I couldn't get this to work for me, is to take some screenshots of others that fell for this scam. And so I'm going to be showing you first a diagram of how this entire scam works, and then I'll show you some screenshots as well to make it more clear to you on how the scam works. And I'll post links down below in the description on where I got these screenshots and articles so that you can dive into this in further detail if you would like to. Alright, so here's the start of the diagram. Let me zoom in some more here so you can see it better. The scam really starts out as you're trying to search for a program to download. In the example inside of here, the program is Grammarly, which, if anybody's used Grammarly before or heard of it, if you haven't heard of it, it's a program that basically helps you type better, as far as I understand, create documents better, and helps correct you. It's like an advanced spell checker from what I understand. So you go and search the program you want to download, you type in download whatever the program name is in Google, and then this is where the scam really starts to happen. So you can't really see this picture, but I'll show you a picture here pretty soon. This is the Google search result, and this is the top result inside of the Google search result. It goes to Grammarly.org, and the key thing here is it shows up as an ad, and that's why it's popping up all the way at the top of the search result. And basically what happens from here is you go and click on that ad because you want that software, and it's the top result. And what actually happens is the hacker, or the pirate, purchased the ad and was able to get the ad through Google because they purchased the ad making it look like it was a heater service website in this example. But that's not what you see when you go and click on the link. You might see it for a brief little bit, but then it's going to redirect you to this website down here that looks like Grammarly, but isn't actually Grammarly. If you look at the web address up above, which you can't see here, but it's highlighted in this little box, it's gram-early.com, not grammarly.com. And then what happens is you go to install that software by clicking the download button, which is right here. You can't see it in this graphic, but I'll show you another one that's a better example. And then there's a zip file that comes up. You have to open up the zip file to get your file inside of there. And then boom, once you open up the file inside of there, the attackers got you and can start doing bad things to you. Alright, so that's the first example, just kind of this diagram of what can happen. Now let me show you some better examples to make this more understandable for you. Alright, so here's a better example. You can actually see what's going on here. And this one's for AnyDesk, which honestly, I'm not even sure what the software does. Okay, it's remote desktop software, so it allows you to remote into a computer. So basically, yeah, you can see if you wanted to download the software AnyDesk, what happens in this scam, the attacker purchases that ad that shows up on top. You can see its ad here. And then, of course, you're going to want to go ahead and click on that ad because it's the first result. So that you can go and download it. And just a note here, the link looks legit. AnyDesk.com is the actual legit site that you would download AnyDesk from. So, yeah, it looks pretty legit. So then if you click on that link, it does that redirect from the legit page that the attacker had that they were able to use to get the ad in the first place. And then you get this. And if we zoom in here, you can tell that the address is not AnyDesk.com anymore. It redirected to www.anydesk.top. But anyway, so you go and download the software. The site looks pretty legit though, right? And then you can see that zip file up here. And then I believe there's a picture of an example after that. Okay, yeah, here we go. You got the zip file. You open up that zip file. This is the file that's inside of it, the MSI file. And you click on that because you want to install the software. Well, if you go back here. This is a little bit, and then basically what happens is the attacker's malware gets put on your machine, which is what this image is showing, which is more advanced than what this channel covers. And then, boom, you are in big trouble. The attackers got you and can do whatever they want to your machine. So basically, the key software that has been seen to have been impacted with this is 7-Zip, VLC Media Player, FileZilla, LibreOffice, WinRare, AnyDesk. Those are the ones that have been seen to have these Google ads pop up. But this can really happen with anything. So you have to be aware of any software that you're downloading on Google and searching for, that this could be a possibility of happening to you. Alright, so now let's get into what can happen to you if you fall for the scam. So there's really two major threats to you if you fall for the scam. The first one being the Redline Stealer malware. And basically what this malware does is steals information off of your machine. So logins, passwords, the autofill data, or like basically any data that you enter into your web browser. So Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, any of the cookies that you use for websites, credit card details, you name it, pretty much anything that you could type into a web browser or on your machine, this red line stealer can steal that from you. And you can only imagine the possibilities if an attacker has this type of information on what they can do to you. If you have passwords, and especially if you don't have two-factor authentication turned on, and they steal one of those passwords that you're typing in, they can get into one of your accounts and break into it and do bad things. If they have their credit card information, they could try to charge your credit card to something and steal from you that way. If they get the right information, like your address, your social security number, your phone number, your date of birth, your name, they can start trying to open financial accounts and financially benefit from that as well. If you're someone that's into cryptocurrency and you have crypto wallets, this red line stealer also attempts to steal any crypto wallets that you have. And yeah, basically any of that information can be used against you that they stole to try to create phishing emails against you or people that you're affiliated with, to create more scams out there to help benefit them financially. So that's really the first bad thing that can happen to you. The second thing is, and it's not as common as this, is ransomware. For those of you that aren't familiar with what ransomware is, most of you probably are if you've watched my channel, but once the ransomware starts on your machine, it starts encrypting all of your files, and then once it's done, you get this nice message that says all of your personal files are encrypted, and it has a countdown timer, and basically you can't access any of your files on your machine once this comes up unless you pay the ransom, or if you follow the advice on my channel, making sure that you have a backup so that you can restore from it. So yeah, some really, really bad things can happen if you happen to fall for this scam. Alright, so now to the most important part of the video. How can you protect yourself so that you don't fall for this scam? Alright, the first thing that you can do is to get an ad blocker in your browser. Basically, so that you don't see these ads in the first place. And the ad blocker I like to use is called AdBlock Plus. You can get it from adblockplus.org. I'll post a link down below in the description if you want to check it out there. And basically, all you do is you click Get AdBlock Plus for Chrome or whatever browser you are. It sits in the corner of your browser, and it'll sit there and block ads on websites. So that's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is whenever you're clicking on anything, and it's not just Google, it's anything, and it's it's in emails too. You hover over the link, and you look at where the link is going to. So if we go back to that example that I was showing you earlier, in that AnyDesk example, if you look at where the link is actually going to the page up in the address bar before you click the download now button, you can see it's not going to anydesk.com. It's going to www, there's not even a dot there, anydesk.top. What the heck is .top? I have never heard of that ending domain extension. So that's a huge red flag there, and that's something that you should always look for when you're downloading a file. Go up to the address bar here and see what the address is. Is it the same address of the site that you went to? And does the site actually make sense for what you're going to? Look for misspellings in that too. A lot of times they'll mess up the spelling just a little bit. And if you see that spelling is wrong, then you know that it's a fake. It's a scam. The next thing to look for is always when you're downloading a file, unless you expect it to be compressed because it's a very, very large file. If you're downloading an installer, it's either going to be a .exe or a .msi file like 95% of the time. So if you happen to see a zip file like this when you're going to download something, it's probably a scam. And an even bigger sign that it's a scam is if it's a zip file and then it has that .msi file or .exe file inside of it. Like the screenshot here. Go back here. Like I showed you earlier in the example, you got the zip file and then the MSI file is inside of it. That's a huge red flag. Basically, the zip file is to stop the antivirus from blocking it because it can't see the MSI file inside of it. Speaking of, while we're talking about files, the next thing that you can look for to help protect yourself from this, and let me pull up the screenshot here. That's not what I wanted to do. Assess the file size of the file that you're downloading. And so the majority of the time when you're downloading programs, they're going to be under 100 megabytes. It's going to be pretty rare that they're over 100. And if they're over 500 megabytes, you should be really, really suspicious. If it's over 100, okay, maybe there's a few things that are over 100, but over 500, you should be really, really suspicious, unless you're downloading like a game or some big, huge video editing platform or something like that. In general, you're probably going to have files under 100 megabytes. And I'll show you just an example here quick if you don't know how to do that to check the file size. So if I go and download the VLC media player, and of course it's not going to want to work, so let me refresh the page here. Maybe this is actually a scam because it won't let me download it. Let's try this again. Alright, so finally, alright. So I download VLC media player, and if I want to view the file size, if you're in Google Chrome, you just hit the show in folder. And you can see the file size is over here. So 43,000 kilobytes. This is 43 megabytes. And so it's under the 100 megabytes. And then if I look, you can't tell inside of here actually. Actually, if you click the properties, this is the easiest way to tell. And look at the type of file. You see it's a .exe file. And so you know this is probably legit in this situation, because if I go back here, the website is videoland.org, which I happen to know is the appropriate website for the VLC player. You can see it's a .exe. Oh yeah, you can't see it down here, but if you wanted to see as an exe after it's already been downloaded, you could do like I said before to go to the properties and see it in here. So yeah, those are all signs that this file is probably a legit file, plus it doesn't have the .zip file extension at the end of it. Another way to identify that .zip is if we go back here to that screenshot, is .zip files are always going to have that weird looking icon with the zipper thing on it. So that's one of the easy ways to identify .zip as well. And then finally, make sure that if you have websites that you're going to on a frequent basis, I know there's a lot of people out there that like to just Google search everything. Don't do that. Put those websites in a bookmark. It's as simple as going up to this little star icon here, clicking bookmark this tab, hitting done, and then you just go back into the bookmarks again over here, and you can see it in the bookmarks tab. And you can get even more advanced with this by creating folders and things like that. But if you start getting in the habit of bookmarking the websites that you go to, it's very, very difficult to fall for a Google scam because you already have those sites bookmarked and know that they're legit. So hopefully you learned a lot from this video and you don't fall for this scam. Just in summary, some of the things that you can do to help protect yourself. Make sure that you're checking that address bar whenever you're downloading some software. Check in to make sure that the link looks legit. that there's no misspellings in it, and that the address isn't weird in some fashion, like having .top instead of .com. Checking that file size to make sure that it's not over 100 megabytes. And if you see it over 500 megabytes, then it's not a game or some type of video editing software or something like that. It should be raising red flags in your head. Making sure that your files aren't zip files that have MSIs or executables inside of it. Making sure that those come by themselves, because 95% of the time, software is going to be an .exe or .msi file in its legit form. And then setting up an ad blocker for yourself is one of the last things that you can do to help protect yourself so that those Google ads don't show up for you in the first place. Alright, so I hope you found this video very, very useful. Remember, there's a part 2 coming to this on a different Google scam that I will be showing you soon. So if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when that video comes out. And then also make sure that you're smashing that like button, because it drastically helps promote this channel in the YouTube search results so that more people can see the content from this channel and learn from the content on this channel and protect themselves from the cybersecurity threats out there in the world, which is my main goal of this channel. So anyway, I hope you guys found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you all. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a fantastic day.